Okay, good afternoon and welcome everyone. My name is Leong Wei Jie, and I'll be your host for today and one of the speakers as well. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you on sparing some time off your schedule to attend this webinar. I hope that every one of you are staying safe and vaccinated during this time. So the past 1 year, I would say, has been rather difficult year for the most of us due to multiple limitations in the economic sectors. And I hope that the difficulties that we face today will not hold us back, but in contrast, will propel us forward to strive for a better tomorrow. Though the sectors and projects are now slowly recovering and reopening, but I still wish that we all can take the necessary countermeasures and stay safe. So as the title of the webinar implies, pain-free after-sales experience with KVC and Huawei, the main objectives of today's webinar is to provide detailed sharing on the Luna 2000 installation, training on the updated Fusion Solar 7.0 management system, optimizing warranty claim process, and commissioning guidelines for inverters and smart loggers. So without further ado, we'll look at our agenda for today. So there's been a slight difference with the webinar that you see on our KVC website. So this is an upgraded version. So as you can see from my screen over here, our webinar is divided into four main agendas, four main topics. For the first one will be covered by Mr. Farhan, Fusion Solar Luna 2000 Solution Technical Training, together with the Fusion Solar Smart PV Management System 7.0 Technical Training, which is also conducted by Mr. Farhan, and followed by with a short quiz in regards to the two topics that we've discussed. And after that, we will talk about the Sun 2000 warranty claim procedure, together with the inverter at Smart Logger 3000 commissioning guideline, which will be presented by myself, and follow up with a quiz, and we end the session with the Q&A. So if you look at the agenda for today, right, we end at 4:20. So there's been a slight delay in terms of the schedule, but I hope that every one of you can stay until the end of our webinar because we have a surprise giveaway to announce at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker of today, Mr. Farhan. So Mr. Farhan is currently a technical service manager in Huawei. So he's currently a registered professional technologist with the Malaysia Board of Technologies and certified assessor with Business and Technology Education Council. He was heavily involved in electrical instrumentation maintenance and has had vast experience in telecommunication field before being involved in solar industry during his tenure in Huawei Technologies Malaysia Srinagar Berhad. So together with us, Farhan, he will share and cover about the Luna 2000 solution training, together with the updated Fusion Solar 7.0 technical training. So I'll invite Mr. Farhan to share the screen. Mr. Farhan, I'll over back to you.
Today I would like to share you the Luna 2000 solution technical training. Okay, this one is our overview of the PV solution. So as you can see here, we have a solution for the residential. The capacity is less than 10 kilowatt. So here for the Luna 2000 solution, we using the smart dongle as our communication to our server in the smart PVMS. So here you can see the single phase inverter. The range of the inverter is 2 to 6 KTL for single phase, and for the three phase 3 KTL to the 10 KTL. So for this model, we give you for the default, we be sent together with the smart dongle W1 FE. Today we be cover 4 topic. So first is our products, then second is our installation, third is our commissioning, and fourth is our maintenance and troubleshooting. So this one is our single phase and 3 phase inverter for the solar residential solution. So both model they are built-in WLAN. This one we need to connect to our Sun 2000 app to setting and configure the inverter. So for this M1, for the standard configuration, what I said here, we give you the free smart dongle W1 FE. So let's say for your site need to using the 4G, this one need to buy separately. Okay, this one is our Luna 2000, the battery, the overview. So from here you can see for the each system, one system, we support for the 2 battery. That means we have 2 power module, pull control, and cascading to the another system. So the maximum is 30 kilowatt only for one inverter. So here you can see they have indicator here, very small indicator here. The indicator will be showing the status of the power control module. And the right side, they have the blinking, they have a percentage, how many your battery available for backup and for the charging. So from the top here is we call it a power control module, and the downside, these are the battery expansion module. So let's say your site only using the one battery expansion, also this one only one. So we have to come together with the floor mounted base. And behind of this Luna, you can see they have a heatsink there. This one for the heat dissipated for the Luna 2000. And here is one switch, the black start. This one we using for the normally for when for the off-grid mode. So this one is our backup box. Backup box we have two type also for the single phase and the 3-phase backup box. So for this solution also we are comfortable to using the smart PV optimizer. But when you using this one, they have a certain trick for the configuration. Let's say your site have the full PV optimizer. So for the setting, we have some procedure to do. Later I will show you. And this one is our power sensor for the single phase and 3-phase. So our meter is a bi-directional meter. Okay, here is a smart dongle. The smart dongle we have WLAN FE. We support WLAN FE and smart dongle for the 4G. So both of these plug and play. You can plug and play into the existing USB port inside near the inverter. So this one is the app what we're using for the commissioning, and this one is Smart PVMS, the new version of our management system. Okay, next is how you want to download the Fusion Solar app. Normally, customer will be asking about this when they are first time using our product. So normally they have 3 method how you want to download how to get the Fusion Solar app. So here we have first method. You can go to our Huawei app gallery. This one normally for the non-Huawei phone, you can download actually the Huawei app gallery. You can searching in the Google, then can get the Fusion Solar. And second method, you can go to our website. They have website there. When you go there, you can find the download Fusion Solar app. You can click there. You can get the link how to download for the iOS or for the Android. And third method, we have the QR code. Then we have the link here. You can using this link to get our apps. Okay, next is our networking, our solution number 1. So this solution we are using single Sun 2000 together with the Luna 2000. So for this one, for the commissioning, of course, we need to using the Sun 2000 app to communicate with the Sun 2000 over they have their built-in wireline there. So for this one, we support both single phase inverter and 3-phase inverter as well. So for the battery working mode, we have 3 mode there. You can see we have a maximum self-consumption, time of use, and fully fit to the grid. Later, I will explain more detail together with some scenario to show how this working mode operate. And this one for the system, they have grid type also. We have cascading 2 system together with one become the master, and the second system will become the slave. So as you know that for this solution, we need to using the S dongle for the communication. So everything will be like the power sensor will be connected to the master of the inverter. So this one support both inverter. So you can cascading together the single phase and 3-phase inverter. Okay, next is grid type and off-grid solution. So this solution we support for both as well, single phase inverter and three-phase inverter. So for the off-grid, you need to using the backup box. So when you want this solution, you can asking to mention what solution are using. So for the off-grid and grid type, so this system require the backup box to be installed. So without this backup box, so for the off-grid, when during the grid is lost, your essential load cannot get the power supply. Okay, this one is a grid type and off-grid mode solution as well. So this one we are cascading to inverter. So but here we have some not here, so precaution when using this mode. So the charging mode, when the charging mode is enabled, so the supplies the battery will be allowed to be charged. So this one is our pure off grid. So that means your site is don't have any grid, any AC. Maybe on the existing they have a DC generator there. So our solution can meet your requirement. So you have to have the automatic transfer switch to transfer the power supply either from the DC generator and or for the Luna 2000 system. So for this one, for the off-grid, so this one when the system is working, so this one when we are using the manual, the black start switch, so you need to manually operate the button near the Luna 2000. They have button black start there. So this one when the no load, so you can using this one to make the inverter is function during the night. Okay, next is our installation. So maybe one of some of your guys join early today, right? So during when you join, you can see our video how to do the installation for every inverter and for the Luna 2000. Then actually you can get the video. You can go to the YouTube as well. We post some of the guideline how to install the inverter and as well for the Luna 2000. Okay, here is the detail how to the installation. Okay, when you unpack the product, right? So you can get this floor mounted and also the battery module and the power module. So how you want to do the installation is quite simple actually. So first you need to prepare your place to install the Luna. Make sure the leveling is correct. Then you can start to install the the battery pack first. Then after that, they have some piece of the to lock the between the floor mounter and to the battery. So you can add in lah. So if you have a three module, then you can add in until finish. Then after that, when you are finished, you can mount we have angle there to mount to the mount to lock to prevent the Luna 2000 to fall down. So let's say on your side you have a wall mounted. So first you need to have prepared this one. So the accessory you need to buy separately if you have this solution. Okay, for the installation, Luna 2000, actually our product is weatherproof, but we have some to prevent to make the Luna 2000 more long. So you have you can see here that we have some roof or some to prevent the direct sunlight to the Luna 2000. So for the installation, do not install near the explosive material around the battery. So maybe you can install the Luna 2000 outside your home near the wall. Okay, for the installation tip, they have some tip here you can follow. Maybe some guide easy for your installer to install the Luna 2000. Okay, first you need to ensure the floor where you want to install. You need to decide first where you want to install the Luna 2000. Then make sure that the floor is leveling. Second, the cable length, because what we send to you for this cable length, actually later I show you they have some which cable we come together with the package and which cable customer need to buy separate. So the cable we send to you, they have a different length, so you need to identify first lah, so before you do the crimping and connection to the Luna. Third, we have, for when we are delivered to your in the package, we have the cap here for the battery, positive and negative. So inside the package, we give you the tool to remove the dustproof cap. Number 4, you need to identify. Okay, for this part, actually, for myself, when I do this commissioning, right? So you need to identify first which pin number you need to using for the communication. So normally on the site, we have some, we give you actually the hard copy of the manual. From there, you can do the note there. You can identify which communication. Normally for this part, installer maybe make some mistake lah. So better you do the marking, then identify which pin we are using for the communication. Okay, now number 5, this one, the DC-DC battery. Okay, for this battery, for this cable which are connected to the battery, this one we are provide. So when you do the installation, right, so you need to make sure lah which one is from the battery to battery and battery to power module, because the length of this one is different. Okay, says the control module. So the power control module you need to fix in the wall. So make sure that you fix this wall. Otherwise, your Luna 2000 will be fall down, because you see the height, very high, right? Around I think 1.3 meter. So it's easy to fall down. Number 7 is the battery terminal. So the battery terminal, this battery we provide together. So you can see the length of the cable is different, right? You can see the left, right, and right. They have the length is quite different. So if you wrong this termination, will be wrong lah when you do the installation. So when you have because we give you the correct amount of the battery, the cable. And the last, when you finish everything, the connection power module to the battery to battery, so they have cover. So that one, after you finish the termination, confirm 100%, then you can put the housing back to protect. Okay, this one is the installation cable. So if you see from here, the diagram here is quite simple, right? So very straightforward. I'm not sure. For me, normally for the first time you are using, quite you maybe make some mistake lah. So if you follow the guideline, of course, no, there must be no mistake you have done. So here you can see they have the two table here. Two table for this table. Actually, this one you need to prepare by customer. Like say the DC input power cable. This cable is mean the inverter. Because normally maybe the inverter you install, we don't know how long you want to install, maybe behind the door or maybe in the same room. Then this cable customer need to prepare from the inverter, go to the power module. This one prepared by customer. And the signal cable, of course, the power cable will be go together with the signal. So this signal cable from the inverter to the power module is by customer. And the ground cable, that means from after you finish everything, they have some ground point which are connected to the ground. This one by customer. And for the downside, this one we come together with the product in the package. That means the DC input power cable. The input power cable, you can see here, this one come together, and signal as well. And the DC to DC we give together. And the ground cable. The ground cable means the ground cable between our product, between the power module to the battery to the battery module. So for the meter, they have a COM port here. So this one will be connected to the power sensor. Let's say your solar product solution using the off-grid and grid mode. So they have backup box. They have signal DI. Will be sent signal will be sent from the backups to the inverter. Okay, here is the how to connection the battery to the inverter. So they have the battery positive and negative will be connect from the inverter. Inverter side they have battery there, the pin. So we advise you to connect the right side first and of the battery. So for your side, maybe you can design lah. But this one recommended by us. So for the left side, easy for your to do the maintenance. And this one is the battery communication port definition. We have pin here. You can see we have pin. So normally this one customer will be installer. Normally that we make some mistake when do the termination for the communication, because there are different communication pin they need to use for this solution. So you can see here we have marking here, the marking for the blue color. This one is a connection to the inverter. For the red color marking, this one we connect to the battery. Okay, this one is pin for the L1, for the COM port for the L1. You can see we have 8 pin here. So for the communication, we are using for the signal to the battery, pin number 3 and number 4. And then this one for the enable signal. So if you forgot to install this one, normally inverter will be not send the signal to the Luna 2000 to operate. So Luna will be receive command from this inverter through this signal cable. Okay, for the right side, this one for the 3-phase inverter. So 3-phase they have many pin, right? So better this one you need to take care lah. You need to identify first which one pin you want to using, 7, 9. So they have a numbering there actually. When you have on the side, you can see the number inside the communication. Okay, this one is backup box. The backup box for the off-grid solution. So for the off-grid, they have maybe some of you think Huawei have this solution. So how the termination, how their load separate. So normally you can see here, I think this one is quite clear to you, right? So we have the important load. So that means the important load, they have a separate power will be covered for that side. Maybe during that day, the AC will be lost. Only this load will be have the power supply. So not your normal load. So here you can see we have for the cable connection for the single box or 3-phase backup box. So we have terminal X1, X2, X3, and X4. So the load will be for your side. The backup load will be come from the X1 terminal. So for the X2, this one from the grid, and X3 it come from the AC to the inverter. Go to the inverter side. And this one COM. Okay, this COM actually how our backup box operate. How the Sun 2000 will be operation during the AC. So actually this one will be send signal to the inverter to give the command that to show that there are no AC present on that side, maybe AC blackout. So this one signal will be sent to the inverter. Then the inverter will be start to operate in the off-grid mode. Okay, this one the port pin for the DI, for the backup box, we using the 5 and 8. This one for the single phase inverter. So 5 and 8 will be using for the DI for the backup box. Let's say your site don't have using maybe you have only using for the grid mode only. So this one without backup box, this one no need to terminate on the site. So this one is the right side for the single phase inverter, 3-phase inverter. So we are using the pin number 8 and 16. So this one you need to identify lah. Let's say you have to using this solution. So be careful for this one. Okay, this one tip how to do the installation for the backup box. The tip is quite easy actually. Of course, for your single phase, right? For any single phase, you have to do the marking for the AC L1, L2, L3. Then for the inverter side, you need to put the terminal. So normally this one because this one is fast clip for the terminal. So make sure you do the clipping. When you do this one is careful. When you cut the insulator, then you need to plug in correctly. Okay, number 2, the backup box alarm and recovery. So actually this alarm is at the inverter side. It's not inside the backup box. backup board don't have any indicator here. So they are indicator at the inverter side. So for this one, actually they have many the how the LED will be blinking. So this one you need to identify lah. Maybe you have this document or you put the something inside your for your maintenance guide. Easy to understand. Okay, third is for the short circuit plate. This one for the short circuit. Let's say you're using the which grid code. So this one will be how your electrical system, maybe IT. Okay. So for this backup board, inverter will be have a separate alarm. Normally alarm ID. So this alarm ID will be show what the problem of the backup box. So we have the solution there. You can follow the solution to eliminate the alarm. Okay, next for the connecting a battery with and the grid meter for the single phase inverter. So this one I think is quite simple as well, right? You can see the flow, how the battery connecting to the Luna and the COM go to where, either go to the meter and also go to the Luna 2000. So this one is how to do the installation for the meter. You can see we have a meter. Let's say your site using the single phase, then install inside the three-phase system. So of course you need to using the three-phase DTSU 666. So here is some guide you. You can see the city here, right? The city, if you can see here, they have a direction. So that means the city will be go to the load. So that will be come from the grid and to the load, the direction. So let's say this one is your wrongly claim the direction. So the DTSU will be get the wrong information lah, because this one is a bi-directional meter. So the pin that we are using for the single phase inverter, you can see here for the cascading, this one for the cascading pin number 1 and number 2. And for the meter, this one we are using pin number 3 and number 4. 3 and 4 will be connected to the meter. Okay, this one for the three-phase inverter. So here we have two type system, three-phase for wire with a neutral, and this one without the neutral. So for the with a neutral, you can see here the DTSU how the connection. So they will be claimed same as the single phase inverter, the three-phase power meter. The direction is will be go to the load, and the signal will be go to the inverter. They have core number 9 and number 7. So for the three-phase, three-wire, same. Only the different. Only the neutral will be not connected to the DTSU. So for the communication, for this one we are using the pin number 7 and number 9. So take note this one. Inside the manual also we have this guide also as well. Okay, third is how to the commissioning. Okay, first when you do the commissioning on site, right, when you finish everything, do the installation and the cabling, everything is finished. So now you want to power up the system. So normally for this one we have for the Luna, when you first connected using the Sun 2000 Fusion Solar, the system will be forcing you to upgrade immediately. So because this system will be asking you, because we doesn't want any bugs happen to this Luna 2000. Okay. First, how you want to upgrade using the apps for WLAN FE dongle, because we have a different way. Because for the WLAN FE dongle, this one you can download using app. But for the 4G dongle, let's say your solution using the 4G solution, so this app not support manually locally to upgrade. So how this one we need to remote upgrade using the Fusion Solar management system. So maybe for this one you need to finish without adding everything, but you just adding the battery inverter and Luna to the Fusion Solar management, then do the upgrading. Later I show you how to do upgrading using the smart PVMS. So here is how to upgrade using the apps. You can see very straightforward. When you log into when you are using they have two apps actually, Sun 2000 and Fusion Solar. So for the Fusion Solar, they have, when you log in, they have a device communication tool. So you can use it, they will direct you use it to the Sun 2000s. So here you have two way here. You can use it the manually connection, or you can scan the QR code there inside the Sun 2000 the dongle. And then for the first that we have the asking you to the connect to the which Wi-Fi of the dongle, because normally on the side, right, when you do this one, they have many equipment. Let's say you have 3 inverter on site, then you have 1 dongle. So when you're searching for the Wi-Fi during that time, they have 4 Wi-Fi available hotspot there. So how you want to identify? Actually, for the name of the Wi-Fi, they have a name of the SN of that product. For example, for the inverter. So for the inverter, they have a SN number, and for the dongle, they have SN number. So this one you need to identify lah. So better you do the marking first. They will be confused lah later. So then when you connect to the dongle the WLAN Wi-Fi, the system will be asking you the password. Then you go to the maintenance. You find the maintenance, then you can find the upgrade device. Second optional, you can upgrade using the dongle. So first, you need to have the site is success connected to do the smart PBMS. Then you go to the plan. You can find the upgrade management here. Then you can find the button here. The button will be asking to adding. Then will pop up the information lah. So now we want to upgrade the dongle. You need to choose the smart dongle and the software package. Normally the software package will be uploaded by Huawei person in charge lah. Then after finish, then you can click OK. Then system will be start to upgrade. Okay, here is how to the setting the battery device detection, the working mode. So here, let's say your installation, your cable is connected is correctly. So there will the inverter, when you turn on AC and DC, the inverter will be start to asking the Luna 2000 to power on. So you can see first how to do this one. First you do the quick setting. They have quick setting. So you can add the battery and the power meter and the optimizer. Let's say you are using the the optimizer on site, right? So this one you need to do this one first. Then later do for the battery. Okay, here you can see they have 3 type of the mode how the battery will be working. So first, this one maximum self consumption, and second is fully fit to the grid. That means you want your system, your battery, and your PV will be sent to the grid. And third is time of use. Time of use you can set what time you want asking the battery to can be charged or discharged. And here they have a priority of access and PV energy. Maybe you want to fit to the grid, or maybe you want to charge. And this one we have one features. Here you can allow the grid to charge the battery. Normally the battery will be charging using the PV system, right? But here we have some features. You can allow the grid to charge your Luna 2000. Okay, this one is battery control parameter. When you do this one, you can see first you choose the working mode. What the working mode? Then here you can see the control parameter of the Luna. So here for the default, right? By default, we are using the maximum self consumption. So the maximum power to be charged is by default is 5 kilowatt. So the maximum lah. So let's say you have only one battery. This one they're talking about that they have 3 battery. Then if you have one, so the system will be go to the default lah. The maximum will be charged only 2.5 kilowatt only. And then for the maximum discharge also we put the maximum 5 kilowatt, same as charging. The same concept they are using. If you using one battery module, only 2.5 kilowatt only can be discharged at that time. And end of the charge capacity by default is 100%. But you can set if you want to have a longer Luna 2000, you can put little bit. Okay, for the end charge capacity, okay, this one many customer will be asking, hey, LiPo Huawei can be we discharge until 0%, right? Yes, but this one you need to change. You need to go to the setting, change to the 0%. So if not, the battery only will be able to discharge only up to the 50% only. So normally customer will be asking this one ah. Okay, charge from grid. They have a setting there. You can see the setting there, right? Charge from grid. So by default, this one is disabled because normally this one based on your solution on site lah. Normally for the TOU, time of use. So this one we have the tarif, different tarif. So during the low peak tarif, you can allow this one to allow the AC to charging your Luna 2000 until what level. This one we can set also. Let's say you want to allow the AC side to charging, maybe by default is 20% lah. When the Luna reach 20%, the charging from the grid will be stopped. Let's say you want to allow the grid to be charged until 100%. This one you need to change to 100%. Okay, this one is battery mode. Okay, the maximum self consumption, the scenario. So for example, this site they are using 5 KTL inverter and with 10 kilowatt hour battery. Let me they have two battery module only. So the energy flow will be from the load to the battery charging to the grid connection. Okay, for first scenario, let's say your PV system if enough to generate the maximum 8 kilowatt hours. During that time, only 4 kilowatt hours load only on that side. So the remaining will be charging the Luna 2000. Sorry, the arrow should be up lah. Okay. Okay, during the, for example, during the very high peak also, your load is less 2 kilowatt, and then the remaining will be start to charge the battery Luna 5 kilowatt, and the remaining one will be sent to the grid. Okay, this one during the sunlight is weak, during the cloudy or maybe during the evening. So your PV can generate only 3 kilowatt, and then your load is during that time is 4. Then Luna will be start sending to backup 1 kilowatt to your load. And then this one for the during the night. So during the night, your house is using your load is maybe 8 kilowatt only power during that time. Then your Luna need to just able to give you 5 kilowatt only, because that one is the maximum. You remember the setting that I showed you before, right? The maximum of the Luna can discharge only 5 kilowatt only. So the remaining 3 will be taken from the grid. Okay, this one is time of use. Normally for this one, we are using during when the site is having the different tarif. So this scenario you can using this mode time of use. So here they're using the same way. For example, 5 KTL and with a 10 kilowatt battery capacity. And the set time for the charging, they allow only from the 0 to the 3 AM to charging the battery, and from the 2 PM until midnight, they allow for the discharge. Then before this period, from the 3 to the 2 PM, nothing will be due for the Luna 2000. So here you can see from during the night, during that night, maybe during this day, they are from the 0 to the 3 AM. So the system we set to allow to charging right. So this one, of course, you need to allow this one charge power for the grid. So the grid will be charging 3 and 2 will be to your load. And when the SOC is more than end of charge SOC, so the system will be stopped to charging, and only the grid will be used for your house only, for your load only. Okay, during the 3 AM to the 2 PM, so nothing will do for the Luna. So Luna will be idle, waiting for the time. So during that day, maybe your PV can generate only 3, and your load is 4. Then 1 will be get from the grid, not from the Luna, because we not allow during this day, during this time, to discharge the power from the Luna. And this next is during the 2 p.m. until midnight. So this system, the Luna allow to discharge. So you can see your load is 4 only. Then your PV during this day only 3 kilowatt, and then 1 will be get from the battery. Let's say your PV is 0, then 4 will be get from the battery until the battery power is depleted. Okay, this one is fully fit to the grid. Fully fit to the grid, that means you want more money. So this one, for this function, same. They are using the 5 KTL and 10 kilowatt hours battery capacity, and the grid connected power is not set. So there's no power limitation here. They will allow to system to send to the grid whatever he have. Okay, so from here, for example, here your PV system can generate 8 kilowatt hours, right? Then you can see that for example, for 5 KTL, actually for 5 KTL, the power will be output up to the 5.5 kilowatt. So the system will be give you the 100% whatever the inverter can produce, 5.5. Then the remaining of the PV will be start to charging the battery. And during that time, your load is 1. So remaining of the 5.5 minus by 1 will be sent to the grid lah. So you get the money here lah. And during the afternoon or the night, maybe during the cloudy, your PV generation just able to get the 3 kilowatt. And then this inverter will be give you 100 maximum 5.5. Then the remaining will be get from the from the Luna. And then during that time, maybe your load only 1, then the remaining will be sent to the grid. Okay, this one for during the night. Of course, during the night, your PV will be not generate any power, right? So the Luna, the power will be taking from the PV. So for this night, without the PV, the inverter only can produce a maximum 5 kilowatt only. Then maybe that day your load only 7, then remaining 2 will be get from the grid to cover your load. Then let's say your load only 2 only, then the inverter will be produce only 2, the power get from the Luna only 2 only. Okay. Okay, last is pure off grid. That means your site don't have any grid, any AC from the TMB. So this one, of course, the power will be get from the Luna and from the PV side only. And then for example, for this one, when you configure this one, so there must be have a Luna 2000. Without the Luna 2000, the inverter cannot operate without the grid, because we need the power from the battery to give the sense that this one we are using. Without that, because this one actually our inverter is not the hybrid, actually we are using the Luna to give the command to our inverter to able to do the conversion of energy. So for example, during the sunlight, right, your PV side can generate 8 kilowatt hours. Then the remaining will be the 5 will be start to charging the battery during the daytime, and the load during the day only 3. Let's say your load is maybe 5, so this one able to charge 3 only. Okay, this one during when your PV is maybe during that day is cloudy, right? Your PV can able to generate 2 kilowatt hours, 2 kilowatt only, sorry. Then the load is 3 kilowatt, then only 1 we get from the battery Luna 2000. And during that night, no PV generation, only 0. Then your load only 3. Then during that time, 100% we get from the Luna. So the power Luna will be used until it's finished 0. Okay, this one and how to setting the battery working mode. So when you go to the Santuk apps, you can find actually this one. Now you can do the setting in when this site is connected to the smart PVMS, you can do remotely setting after you finish on site. Okay, for the features parameter, you go to under the setting, you can go to the features parameter, you can find the off grid mode. So by default, this one is disabled. So if you are using the off grid mode, then this one you need to enable. So how much the backup power for this one? You by default is NA. So this one you need to set up how you are designed. 20% until to 100%. And this one is a grid type, the switching. So by default, this one you are setting by auto. So if you want to manually switching, then you need to change the setting by manually. Okay, this one how to setting the battery mode for the off grid. And maybe your guy will be asking, how inverter can go to this one. Actually, the tricky is in our grid mode lah. Because in the setting, when you go to the setting grid mode, they have a grid mode here. So when you but the function, make sure when you do this one without the battery, this function cannot be used. Only when you do the configuration with the battery, this function will be appear. So here, when you do this one, you can see in the grid code. Actually, we have the grid code there. Grid code, they have some selection here. You need to select the common island grid. That means you can set the output voltage and the frequency. Normally, the site they have a generator there. You can follow the generator rated, how much voltage and the frequency they're using. Okay, last is maintenance and troubleshooting. Of course when you do after you finish everything, right, the site finish, so you cannot leave that site without the maintenance. So here, actually the maintenance for the troubleshooting and maintenance for our product is very simple only. Okay, here the firmware. First, upgrading the device firmware. So when you are left the site, then you go site again. Maybe after 3 months or 6 months, our R&D found something like need to optimize. We be load that firmware to our server. Then when you are connection to the internet, your app will be automatic get the firmware. So when you are connect to maybe to the inverter, or maybe to the dongle, or maybe to the Luna, so the system will be prompt you to download, and they will forcing you to upgrade immediately. And second method is using the manual like you need to open your apps, do the commissioning, and then download the upgrade package. The upgrade package will be available if the package are available here. You can download this. Then the download file will be saved inside your mobile phone. Okay, for the indicator, because for Huawei product now we only have the indicator. So how you are to identify the indicator meaning? Every product actually you can find in our user manual how the blinking, let's say for the running indication, right? So they have meaning actually, like they are blinking very long interval. They're blinking this for the battery leveling. They are blinking long interval. So what the meaning for example is standby mode. So this one maybe for your maintenance, right? Maybe this one you can save inside your mobile phone, or maybe you can print out, put in the battery Luna 2000 room if you have Okay, how you want to, for example, customer will be asking you how I want to identify because if you buy let's say for example your system have with one complete system, battery, the inverter, 3 battery, and 1 power module. How you want to identify which module, battery module are faulty? So actually when you are logging to the app, right, you can view the SN. So behind the battery module, you can find the SN number of the battery module. So here the second option, you can connect the network cable directly to the control module. So this one you can find the status of the battery. So normally this one for the number 1 only you can use. So here is the alarm ID. So the alarm ID will be appear inside your smart PVMF, your Vision Solar. So if got any alarm in your system, they will give you the alarm ID and the alarm name and the indicator. What the indicator inside at the local site. Okay, for the battery storage and charging. Okay, normally when the system not in use, right? So we have the guideline here. You can recharge the interval here. Let's say your storage from our country, right? Normally the temperature is 35 to 55 maybe this one until 6 months. So no need recharge the time for the recharge. Use the battery as soon as possible. So normally, let's say now we have COVID-19, right? Maybe some of project will be delayed, and this one we need to advise you accordingly lah when you do this project. Okay, this one is how to detect the, let's say you're using the backup box, right? So for your maintenance team, how you want to identify which problem happen on that backup box. So this one you can see our guideline here, very easy. You can do the power on the circuit breaker, the grid will be off, then inverter will be shut down. So the terminal will be connected lah. So you can find the contactor inside the backup box. They have contactor, right? You can identify using this way. Later we will share you this one if you want. So this one for the single backup box, same. Okay, the fuse. Okay, the fuse is actually for the battery module. So the fuse somehow when the system is of course the fuse will be break, right? Let's say your system have the some faulty, maybe overcurrent, the fuse will be broken. Then how you want to replace? Actually they have alarm there. There will alarm that showing that the fuse is broken. Then how you want to replace? First you need to shut down the system lah. How you want to shut down? Follow the guideline how to shut down the inverter, and then turn off the battery. They have a DC switch here for the power module. Turn off. Then downside they have the cover. You can remove, open to find the fuse and then replace the fuse. There are normal fuse actually. Actually, inside the package, we have give you the spare fuse. I think 2. Okay, this one for the warranty for the Luna 2000. So this one actually normal. You can find inside our warranty condition. Inside the web page also you can have for the warranty condition lah. Okay, this one I want to share you the Hino app. Maybe some of the user are not aware that we have the application. I know. So here actually you can find this app from, you can scan this one also, or you can go to our Huawei app gallery. For non-Android, for non-Huawei, you can find inside the Huawei. In the App Store also we have. So here very interesting. Actually there are many documents you can download regarding, let's say for the Luna 2000, you can searching that product, then you can direct the download this one. So you can save, no need to print out lah. Okay, let's say you have some issue, right? You want to asking, so you can using our I know our robot here. So you can asking whatever you want. Let's say for example you asking for the Sun 2000 technical data, you can do here. Then the system will be give you the link. And here also we have some interesting also, because many of our engineer will be share the case study around global. I think global. So they have many case you can download here. You can get the case study lah. Normally for that product, maybe this one already be happen on that country. So they will share that case study to the public. So you can refer to this one lah. Or maybe you have something to asking also, you can post here. Okay, here how to obtain the document. Let's say you download the apps, then go to the products, then you can find the Vision Solar PV. Our product is Vision Solar PV. Actually they have many, because we have many product, right? The UPS, everything. Actually you can download. So for us, we under the Vision Solar PV. So you can go here, you can find the product, and then save that document into your mobile phone. Or let's say you have the QR code on the side, right? You want have immediately, you can scan the QR code. Then the app will be go directly to that particular document lah. So here how you want to using the Hino apps. So this one the robot here that you can asking our robot here. So that we give you the link lah. Then somehow that we answer you the question is if the common, then we answer you the question. Okay, thank you for the Luna 2000. Now I would like to share you regarding our new update smart PVMS system 7.0. Maybe some of you already using our previous version, which 6.0. Here some of the overview, the highlight of our new Smart PVMS 7.0. Actually, why we are upgrading, we want to show to the customer they have a simple management and monitoring platform for all scenario. So this one will be including the residential, commercial and industry and utility scale PV plant. But for the utility scale PV plant, for the smart PVMS, right now we just allow you to for the capacity less than 5 megawatt only. And for the certain case, we will allow you according to your solution lah. So for the lifetime management, allow you to learn the plant operating status. So here you can find you can do the facilitating the management. Later we show you some features what are very good for the tracking for your maintenance personnel. And here you can do the real-time monitoring for the plant level, device level, and up to the module level running data. This one also they have the traceable and presenter plant level and device historical data multiple type. And then here we can show you the real time of the fault alarm, how to do the response, how to do the solution, how to rectify. And of course they have a report and alarm push subscription. You can subscribe to send to your email. And third is the intelligent and efficient operation and maintenance. Here I will focus for the some of the maybe for the sorry for the our smart diagnosis. That one will be able you to identify your which PV string have the issue. Okay, this one is overall how the system networking. You can see here the solution on the side. Let's say your site using they have several communication that we are using to connected your site to our smart PVMS. So currently for our region under the Asia Pacific will be located in the Singapore server. So here you can see they have three type. Let's say your site using the smart logger. Right now for the latest version we are using the smart logger 3000. And of course for the old smart logger also able to connect it to our smart PVMS. Let's say some of your guys they have old plan maybe not yet shift from the NECO, I think. So actually we can migrate you to our smart PVMS. So if you have this kind of issue, you can contact our personnel, maybe from the KVC side and from Huawei side. So we can assist you how to do that. And the second, let's say you have the dongle 4G, so your inverter can connect it to our server free. And for the WLAN and FE, let's say you have the Wi-Fi available on site, or maybe have the cable, fast internet Cat 5e. So this one will be connected to our smart PVMS as well. So some of you guys will be asking how safe our server actually, but don't have any information. Actually, we have the firewall, the primary, how to protect your data inside our server. Okay, this one is the overview when you are using the web user interface. Let's say you are using the browser to log into your Vision Solar Smart PVMS. This one you able to do everything here lah, the function. Okay, for the apps they have a limited. Because the app we want to show you the response, because I think from the app you can do the response whatever your PV site can do. So here we can common function for the different user. We have the installer. Of course, normally for the installer, normally the installer is for the EPC side lah. So let's say your site already transfer to some owner, you need to have the transfer your account to that personnel. And for the owner, for your customer client, so the client also can visible the real-time energy flow, module level monitoring, revenue and social contribution. And for this owner, they have a very unique actually they have a kiosk mode. So the kiosk mode will be generated, then you can show to your into your company website, or maybe to your company screen in the lobby. And for the installer, of course, the installer able to do everything, that they can add the inverter, they can remove they can do for the setting, the parameter, protection, and they can have the dashboard, KPI dashboard. Okay, this one the installer journey, how when you are installer as an installer. So first the installer, when they have the inverter, then they have the site to add in our smart PVMS. So that they need to do the self register. So here that whatever the function they're able to have, company management, on the maintenance, device installation, remote plant deploy, they can adding the plant or remove. Monitoring the data, they can export the report and subscribe the report. Later I will show you how to do this one. And then for the OM, they can actually, this one also we have some features here. Maybe if your company have some good many manpower, we have some feature to tracing the whatever happened on your PV plant. Later this one I will be intro you as well. Okay, here how you want to do the first, when you go to our smart PVMS, right? They have a front page here. The front page will be good. We have the QR code here to your app. You can scan here. When you scanning here, the system will be direct you to our how you want to get from the Android or maybe for the iOS. So first, when you do this one for registration in the Apex, we need your mobile number. No need. We need your address, email address for the registration. Right now for the Apex, for our server, we don't have yet final the demo site. So if you click this one, you can see nothing, only the function of the every tab only. So you cannot find any plan right now. So later we'll be adding this one. So right now, if you want to do this one, you only have right now the browser just support the Chrome and Firefox. And for the others, maybe they have some error lah. But we still have features. We'll be adding more browser we are support for our smart PVMS. Okay, demo site. So actually, when in future we have this one, we can try customer. Actually, for this one, the intent user is only for the guest, so only simple only can do. Okay, for the installation registration. So normally this one is you need first when you click the registration, right? So the system will be asking you to fill up the requirement, the company name, email, username, password. And then for how you want to get the code. Normally the code, when you key in the email here, you need to click the send. Then later our system will be send you one verification code that valid only for 5 minutes only. So when you get the code, you need to key in here. Then you can start submit. So you finish for the register. Okay, once you have the final, you get the username and the password. So you key in here. So account, they have 3 category actually here: the admin, installer, and owner. So when you log in for the first time, right, you can see the term and of use order and the privacy policy there. You need to agree this one. So you can read whatever we have asking you to understand before operate the system. Okay, this one, the homepage, the KPI view. You can see here they have a home here. When you key in from the front page, the system will go directly to this page. So you can see here how many plan you have. For example, right, you have 40 plan here, and then the status of each plan. So only normal 10. So the 42, 2 if offline. Offline mean your site maybe don't have the internet connection. So here you can see the real-time alarm here. They have critical, the minor, major, and the warning. And for this one, of course, your inverter will be not operate lah. If the minor and warning, the inverter can be on grid, but with condition. Okay, this one, the dashboard. For the dashboard, it's actually the similar like our previous one, but we have some new one here. You can see the energy yield and the OM statistic and real-time alarm. So here, when you see this one, you can see. But how you want to do this one? If you make sure your dashboard display must be this one the resolution. Otherwise, the system not allow you to open the dashboard setting. So here, how to report. So of course, when you have this smart PV MS, right? So your system can subscribe the report. Your management, maybe some of your management asking the report, right? So our system can generate the report. So here they have some of the selection, the statistical mode, what the mode you want, time or the plan. So when you do this one, you can subscribe, and the subscription will be sending, the email will be sending you every day lah. So let's say your site, you want the report immediately, you can click the export. Then the report will be appear, we can be downloaded. So this one for the inverter report, inverter same as the plan report. They have the selection, the time dimension, so you can subscribe also and export the report to your email. And this one for the battery as well. Battery also they have time dimension, then you can export if your site having the Luna 2000. So this one is a single plan layout. So actually for the layout, you can do this one, you can customize. You have the customer tool, you have the dimension, how you do the arrangement of the PV and the inverter on the site. We have the guide here, how to do this one. We have the physical layout. You can create that one, physical layout, based on the plan layout drawing. So you can move this one according to your actual site lah. So you can do the horizontal, the vertical. Then after you finish this one, you can drag the inverter SN. You can identify which inverter SN. Then the system will be show here. Then after that finish, you can, if your site have the optimizer, you know the optimizer, they have their own SN. So this time you can customize. You can put the which optimizer based on your site installation. Then finish. You can see your layout. Then you can see the value of your PV module. Okay, this one for the default electricity price. This one we can do the, let's say this one only for the TOU. Let's say your TOU, they have the different tariff, right? So you need to have the system calculate your revenue. Then this one you can do that. Okay, this one you want to do plan management for the basic info. So for the every month you can set. Okay, this one for the device management. So device management actually for hours, let's say your site already be connected, then this communication is green, right? So you can do the parameter. You can change the grid code, the setting, protection from here. But this one, the user only able to the installer user only. Owner cannot do this one. Cannot touch and change any setting for this one. So here you can see our device information, grid parameter, protection. Normally the protection lah. So for your site, right, normally they happen, maybe on that site is a factory site, right? So normally this one happen lah. Many customers asking this one, how to that suddenly they have alarm regarding the over voltage or maybe under voltage. Normally under voltage happen in the Sabah Sarawak. Normally some of the villager there, the person they're still they're tapping the voltage, then of course your voltage will be dropping your grid. So for this one actually you can set, but this one we just advise you lah. We don't teach you how to not listen to the regulation lah for the protection. Let's say your protection, the over voltage is normally happen over voltage, right? So you can alter when the level 1 and level 2 the over voltage, so to solve your issue, the alarm, because when this alarm happen, your inverter will be stop generate the power, then you lost the yield lah. Okay, this one is real-time maintenance. You can see the real-time maintenance where your site locate. Let's say for this, able to view this one, you need to make sure that when you adding the plan, right, they have some page to asking you the address. So normally the address will be asking you to choose the suggestion lah. So you choose that suggestion, then the system will be get the latitude and longitude of your site, where your site, then your site will be appear inside the map here. Very nice. Okay, here is a compare plan. So actually from our smart PMS, you can compare the plan. Maybe you have a side-by-side plan. You want to compare the performance of the plan. You can do this one. So how to do that? Do the maintenance, real-time status, and plan status center, and compare the plan. So this one only installer can be done. Okay, this one new ticket maintenance. This one I want to share you the features lah. Maybe I don't see any existing user using this one. So maybe after this you can explore this one. You can do this because it's very nice. Because normally now we don't need any paper, right, to take down, do the note. So you can use our system to do this job. So first you have the problem. Let's say you have the issue on one side. The inverter may be down, maybe have some faulty, right? So you can create the new ticket, and then the new ticket you can select the owner. Maybe on your company they have your maintenance team, right, who are around always on the site. So you can assign that issue to him. So you can tracing actually what he done, and from his side also he can update what the status. Here is the inspection. Let's say to do the inspection, right? He has the task for the inspection. So you can track in here the flow chart until that you can see the status of every ticket you create before. Then who are the handler? Current handler is who are owner of that. So maybe your team already found the correction, right? The maybe rectify. So he can update the status here. So for the management, easy to trace down what actually happened on that particular site. So you don't need to asking him what the status of the issue. So maybe you can directly see this one, see the alarm, and see who are the ender of that task. So here I have the overview lah, the defect. Maybe they found something. So here they have a detail here. You can find the detail here inside the task management defect elimination. So you can view the note here inside this one. So how the defect is proceed? They have the flow chart here. They have work ticket. The ticket will be assigned to whom, the owner, and then the handling suggestion, then submit. So that one will be know what actually happened on your side. Finish for that one, for the tracking. So easy for your team to identify and to have a note what the particular happened on your side. Okay, next is smart diagnosis. This one very smart, actually very smart. I think I hope inside our webinar today they have no participate from the PV module manufacturer, because normally PV module manufacturer they don't like our smart diagnosis, because this one they will 100% can customer can replace if they found any issue on that PV module if they're using our smart diagnosis. So here how you want to do this one? Normally for when you have the function of this one, right, you can first you go to this one only for the installer only. Owner cannot do this one, only the installer can able to do this one. So you go to the maintenance, then you can find the smart diagnosis. When you want to do this one, right, the system when you start this one, then the system will be pop up, then they're asking you to configure the string first. So the configuration part you need to do this one first. Maybe some of you already know this one. We are one-time click maintenance, right? So actually one time we need to do this one first lah. So you need to configure the string, but right now the configure is very simple right now. You need to know the actual what you are installed on the site, how many PV module you are installed for the one string. Let's say you have 6 string using, which string for the spec, and every string how many PV module and the type of the PV module. So most of the PV module what we are using in Malaysia, I think already inside our template. You just choose inside the module manufacturer, which manufacturer of the PV module. Then you can select the model of that PV module. Let's say the model is not inside the list, you can do the add template. Mean you can add the template lah. Let's say you have some new model, right, in the market you are using, then you can adding the template here. Then after you do the configuration, so you need make sure lah when you are do this one, your actual design is whatever delivered or installer using on the site, configure on the site. So if this one not mesh, the system will be detect. Let's say for the PV1, you set from your design, this one have the PV module, right? But on site, your installer they do the termination on the PV number 2. And then of course the system will be detect this one some error lah, open circuit. That's mean no open circuit. Then another one will be said that wrong configure. So useless lah. So this one you need to make sure first lah before you do the configuration string. And then after you finish this one, you can start the IV curve diagnosis. You can add the diagnosis task here. So we have some guideline here requirement when you are to the IV curve, right? So normally for the IV curve, maybe I can share you they have for the customer, right? Before this, they are using the manual IV curve, right? So the manual, they need to dismantle every string on the side. Maybe some of inverter need to shut down lah to avoid when you are, because you want to dismantle the PV string, right, during the load. So you need to, of course, you need to shut down the inverter. Then during that day, you will be lost some of the generation. But our smart IV curve, we don't need you to do dismantle. So as long as you have the features, this feature you available. Later, if you interested, you can go to our channel KVC. You can ask more detail how to get this function for your site. Then we have, when you are to perform this IV curve, right? For manually, you need to identify your site. If maybe during that day you want to do this maybe 5 of inverter, but during that day is a rainy day, so you will be lost the time and also, right? So for this one, we have some of the requirement, right? We just using our system without do nothing on the site. Only when you have the report, only that day, only you can go to the site, identify. Okay, first when you do this one, they have requirement. The time when we suggest customer to do the IV scan. So normally the above of the 400 lah. So system will allow you. So you can get the 100% efficiency, the correct of the report. Okay, here is some of the report. When you do this one, you can get the report. This report actually same like we do the manually, right? You can get the IV report. They have performance data there, the raw data. You can get the raw data for each string. So here we will give you some of the task information lah. How many string you have, the number. So here they have summary here. Summary, they will tell you how many the string you have the issue. Okay, for example, you have one issue only that they detect PV2 have the problem. So your guy only need to go to the site and checking for the one PV string only. No need to do for the every string. So they need to dismantle one PV string, then checking maybe you have 20 piece of the PV module. Then you need to check this one only. Then our report also give you some suggestion lah. They have a step 1 until how you want to rectify, find the problem. So let's say the PV module already damaged, maybe diode issue. So of course you need to replace lah. Maybe you can using our report and claim to the PV manufacturer. Okay, this one is for the next is for the owner journey. So owner normally their features is not many. So only their features only the kiosk mode only. This one is kiosk mode cannot be only have inside the owner only. So under the installer, this kiosk mode, the hyperlink cannot be used. Okay, the home page view, this one I think similar, but only the dedicated lah. For the installer, maybe the installer they have many plan, right? They have many customer, many client, and for the owner only can view their PV system only, their plan only. So installer can create owner. They don't have any limited. Only you need to have the email lah, different email, one email for the one account only. So the map view also same. The owner can view their map Okay, this one for the kiosk mode. Okay, the owner, when you have the owner account, the owner can have this button there. You can see the button here. Then the owner can click the link, and the link, what the display content that will be appear, and they have a link there. The link they can share to their, maybe to their friend or to their the owner. Maybe normally owner is investor, right? So investor, they have show their plan performance to the, maybe to their another customer. So here the some sample. When you have the link, you can see this one very simple only, straightforward. They can see the real time power yield today, yield month, this year, total yield from the day one you install. And you can have the graph, the power chart graph, and the benefit environmental, how many CO2 you are saving for the green energy and charcoal and tree. Okay, this one is for the overview for the owner rule. So the owner rule can see this simple, I think not simple actually. They have quite information they can see here. Okay, this one owner also can see the energy management. Owner can checking the detail, how many their production, self consumption. Let's say they installed the power meter there. So they can see the power meter of that. If they have using the Luna, they can see the battery charging and discharge, what the time, how many kilowatt consumption. Okay, for plan management. So under the plan management, customer owner only can see this one. They can add the user for their company under the owner level only. So they can adding by themselves as well. So customer also can see the real time of the device. So they can see the information. This one is real time. Customer can identify first. Maybe they have some error, so they need to report to the installer lah. That's it. Thank you for joining today. I will pass the floor to Mr. WJ to continue for quiz after this, and then for his part. So if any question, you can asking in the QA session. I will be answer you by email or immediately. Thanks.
Thanks, Farhan. So now we'll proceed with our quiz. So let me just share my screen for a while. Okay, so for those who have actually joined our webinar before, so what I need you to do now is just grab out your phone, scan the QR code, and we'll be having a short quiz. So just to let you know that the quiz for today is that the fastest and also to get the most correct answer. So there will be 5 questions. So answer within the shortest time, and of course choose the correct answer. Okay. So let's see how many of you have joined our quiz today. So take out your phone, scan the QR code, and let's see who's inside this quiz. Remember to try to put your full name or your nickname so that I will know who's inside instead of putting your initials. It's easier for me to differentiate as well. So let's see what's in. So I see 16 people. Do I get like a 20? So the 5 questions that we shared today is in more regards to what Farhan had shared earlier in regards to Luna 2000 and also the Fusion Solar 7.0 management system. I'm getting a 30. Do I get a 50? I'm getting 34. Do I get a 50? Anybody else? 35. And does anybody have any problems scanning the QR code to join our quiz today? Does anybody have any problem to join our QR code today? Let me just re-enter back again. I see 41. Do I get a 50? 42? So let's see if we can start at 50. I see I see a lot of people. 50. Do I get a 50? So there's 100 people in this webinar. Let's see if we can achieve half. Yeah. 47. 3 more to 50. 3 more to 50. 48. All right. So I'll start at 50 sharp, yeah? So remember, the objective of this quiz is to get the correct answer within the shortest time. And we'll choose the top 5 winners, which will be entitled for our gift. So I think we have 50-51. So in 5 seconds, I think we'll start. 5, 4, I see a 52. Anybody else? 53. Okay, I'll start the quiz in 5 seconds, yeah? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the first question, what is the switching time for backup box? Is it 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, or 5 seconds? This has been shared in our presentation we found earlier. What's the switching time between normal load and critical load whenever there's TMB outage? So most of you has answered 35 seconds and 34%. Let's see if that's the correct answer. So the correct answer is 3 seconds. So the switching time between grid and also critical loads for backup mode is 3 seconds if you use the backup box, yeah? So the second question. So we have seen our leaderboard for today. First is QA, Dev, Amira, Timothy, and also Adri. So the other 45 people, buckle up and see. Let's see if we can manage to become the leaderboard. So let's see the second question. What are working modes for Luna 2000? Is it maximum self-co, time of use, fully fed to grid, pure grid, or is it all of the above? What are the working modes for Luna 2000? So most of you have answered all of the above. Let's see if that is the correct answer. Yes, that is the correct answer. Let's see who is the leaderboard. Familiar faces, but I see a new. I see Alvin at number 4, which is currently a new face. So let's see if you can manage to secure the leaderboard at the remaining 3 questions. So what model of inverters can cater for pure off-grid scenario? Is it L1, M1, all of the above, or none of it can support pure off-grid? Which is the correct answer? So most of you has 34%, majority of you have answered all of the above. So let's see if that is the correct answer. So the correct answer is L1 models only. So please note that for pure off-grid scenario, the only inverter that can work is the single phase, the L1 models. Please remember this, yeah? Okay, so let's see who's the leaderboard. Familiar faces. Oh, I see a new face here, Lee Chen Bang and Jia Chen. So let's see if we can top and remain this at this leaderboard for the remaining 2 questions. So what is the domain name of Fusion Solar Management System? Is it solar.hoi.apac, INTL, Facebook, or all of the above? Which is the domain name of Fusion Solar Management System? So let's see. Most of you have answered 69%. There are some people who answered 10%, all of the above. So let's see if that's the correct answer at intlfusionsolar.hoi.com. So the correct answer is intlfusionsolar.hoi.com, which is the domain name for you to connect to the management system. Okay, so let's see who are the what I see familiar faces. I see Kayan, I see Shira, and now in the leaderboard. So the final question. So for the remaining 45 people who wishes to get our webinar gift, please buckle up and see. Let's see if we can score the last question. Ready? Let's go. Do you require physical EMI to perform IV curve diagnostics with Huawei Fusion Solar Solutions? Yes, no, depends on site condition or depends on site irradiance. Do we need, so EMI actually stands for weather station, environmental monitoring indicator. So majority of you all has answered 36% of you, majority of you answered no. So let's see if that's the correct answer. Yes, you do not need a physical EMI. You do not need environmental monitoring indicator or weather stations in order to perform IV curve diagnostics with Fusion Solar Solutions. So let's see who are the final top 5 winners. So congratulations, Jiachen, Chen-Bang, Kayan, Alvin, and Joyce. So please, for those winners, screenshot this page, right? And then drop me an email. Let me just share my screen. Let me just reshare my screen. Drop me an email. Hold on. Just share my screen again. Okay. Okay, you can see, right? So for the winners, please drop me an email. KVC webinar gift redemption. So for some of our customers who has actually joined us in our first webinar back in June, to those who have not gotten your gifts, please drop me an email, because now due to the total lockdown back in July and August, our supplier our vendor for gifts has not been open, so we're unable to produce the gifts. So I hope that once the gift is ready, then we will be able to ship it out. So for the 5 winners, just now, please drop me an email at vijay.leong@kvc.com.my with the subject of KVC webinar gift redemption. Okay, so now we'll look into the third part of our webinar today. So before that, I'd like to introduce myself. So I'm Vijay. So I've been working in KVC for the past 2 years as an applications engineer. So throughout my service in KVC, I've been heavily involved in the service aspect to ensure minimal downtime, optimizing warranty process, to ensure the utmost customer satisfaction. So for today, I'll be covering 2 topics, one which is a warranty claim procedure, and also the inverter and smart logger commissioning guidelines. Okay, so without further ado, I'll talk about the warranty claim procedure first. So for the warranty claim procedure, there are actually 5 parts. So if you look in my slide currently, there are 5 parts. So just not to confuse you, this may look quite extensive, quite difficult to perform, but actually it's pretty much very straightforward and simple. So the first step, what you need to do is actually to obtain the alarm ID from alarm management. So what do I mean by alarm ID and alarm management is because whenever there's any faults, whenever there's any problems with the inverter, they will always trigger a form of alarm ID. And then this will reflect back on the LED's blinking status of the inverter, as mentioned by Mr. Fan earlier. So for smaller inverters, you have 3 LEDs on the inverters, whereas for bigger inverters like the 36, 60, and 100, you have 4 different LED indicators. So whenever you see any red color, blinking red, blinking green, which it will translate to a certain form of alarm ID. So it's best for you to check what is the alarm ID in order for you to perform your maintenance. So whenever you see there's any blinking green, blinking red, blinking orange, the first thing you need to do, always check on the alarm ID. So this is a step-by-step guide on how you actually are able to check the alarm ID. First, what you need to do, log into fusionsolar.com, which is the web browser. So for maintenance, I myself personally would prefer to use the web browser because it's more accessible, easier for us to click here and there to extract the reports. So the first thing what you need to do, click on the plan over here. Right? When you click on the plan, you'll be directed to the next page, which is this part. So there are actually different columns over here, right? Overview, layout, reports, device mention. But what we need to do, because we need to check the alarm ID in order for us to cross-refer back with the manual, what is the suggestion method. What you need to do is click on the alarm. Okay? So click on the alarm, you need to see. Once you're in the alarm page, you need to filter the range. So my common experience, what I usually would do, I'll just click on every single thing. And has it been acknowledged? Has it been cleared? Or is it still an open alarm? What I will do, I'll click on every single thing and filter. So it depends on, then you can divide it when's the last occurrence, when is it cleared. So for this one, you can choose what is the date that you want, what is the month that you want, or what kind of duration are you looking at. So they are subdivided into 2 parts, current alarm and historical alarms. So current alarms are those alarms that's not being cleared currently. Then when you look into the filtering, you are able to see what is the current alarm which is still currently open. Where for historical alarms are for those that has been automatically restored or automatically acknowledged, recovered from the inverter itself. So from that, you need to look at historical alarm. Okay, so far so good. So remember, click on the filter, click on what is the severity. Of course, by default, you leave all as tick, and then the alarm status whether has it been acknowledged, whether it has been cleared, or whether it is still an open alarm. So this is an example from a plant. So in Malaysia, I would say one of the most frequent alarm that we usually face is grid over voltage due to fluctuation of the incoming voltage from the grid. So with that being said, I receive a lot of feedback from customers where they say that their inverter is always on and off intermittently. So whenever they look into the inverter, oh, it's fine. Maybe after like 5 minutes, it goes off and then on again. So what is the problem of this is due to grid over voltage. This is the more common alarms that we usually face. But you look in this part, in this slide over here, you'll see that although it's grid over voltage, the alarm has occurred on For example, for this part, it's occurred on 16th of August. But it's on the same time also, it has also been cleared, which explains why the inverter has already cleared the alarm, which explains why the inverter can turn on, which explains why the intermittent on and off of the inverter. So always when you look at the alarm, look at the alarm ID. Once you have the alarm ID, flip into the manual, search what is the alarm ID, look at the suggestion method, what is the cost of this, which I'm looking at the next part of my presentation, which is this part. So I believe you should be aware of what is the model that you are currently using. Always we need to refer back what is the manual that we are using and refer which alarm ID that we are looking at. So in the user manual is already listed out all the alarm IDs, what the alarm IDs, what the proper cost IDs. So with that being said, you also show you what is the possible causes and what is the suggestion method for you to clear and also solve the maintenance problem. So one key important thing I need to highlight over here is that for this, the beauty of Huawei solution is that the inverter, it will always attempt to self-auto recover. So it's going back to my earlier part of my presentation, which you're talking about grid over voltage. Why will the inverter intermittently on and off is due to inverter or has already self-recovered. So oftentimes when there's any alarm, right, you will not even notice in the first place because the inverter already auto-recovered. So once again, this minimizes your frequency to go to site, to do maintenance checking, to do any form of checking on your inverters. So that's the beauty of our solution, is because the inverter always attempt to auto self-recover the inverter. So whenever let's say if you're able to clear the alarm on the Fusion Solar Management System or on the Sun 2000 app, once you are able to clear and acknowledge the alarm, right, the inverter is already up and running, actually the remaining steps can be ignored already. Okay, so let's say if you face a problem once you try to clear the alarm, but you're unable to clear the alarm, you are trying to do the recovery method, you're still unable to do that, then we proceed to the next part, which is extracting inverter lock. So this is the most crucial part on warranty procedure, because basically this inverter lock is like a historical log of the inverter. So another word is like a black box of an aircraft. Basically, whatever happens in the inverter will show on the inverter log. So this is one of the most crucial part you need to extract. Why? It's because this helps the customer service engineer, CSE, for them to differentiate whether is it an inverter problem, whether is it a manufacturing defect, or whether is it a installation problem. So there are two methods, there are two options for how you can actually extract the inverter log. So the first option, as you can see on the screen over here, is via the Fusion Solar Management System web browser. So this can be done remotely anywhere in the world, but provided the first criteria in order for you to do this is that your inverter must be online. The status over here must be green color, right? So the plant status has to be green color, the inverter has to be online, the logger has to be connected to the internet in order for you to remotely extract the inverter log. So maybe while I'm explaining, you can actually play around with the web browser as I speak, then you can see. So the first step, of course, you click on plants, and then the second part, you look at device log exports. So once again, just to remind you that this can be done any part of the world as long as your laptop has internet access and as long as your plant is connected to the Fusion Solar Management System. So you do not need to go to site and just extract one inverter log. Actually, you can do it online. Okay, that's the beauty of our system, is that everything is online, everything connected. Okay, so the next part, once you click on the device log, search for the inverter number that you want. Right? When you search on it, check on the inverter boxes that you want to proceed to extract inverter log. For example, if you want to extract this inverter log, just click on this checkbox. Start export. So this export usually will take around 5 to 10 minutes. So in the export, right, there are like 5 files. Remember to click all of the files and then start export. Once it's done, you'll do like a loading bar, 5 to 10 minutes of loading bar. Once it's already done, save the log. So once you save the log, it will export the log file in a zip folder, save it in your laptop, save it in your desktop, and then you forward it to us in order for us to proceed the warranty claim for you. So that's the part on the Fusion Solar Management System where you're able to extract the inverter log online. But once again, just to remind you, is that you have to ensure that you have internet access and your plant has access to the internet. Okay. And then next, we look at the option 2. What is the option 2? So for those plant which has no internet access, you have no access to it, or you have no access to the internet, or better yet, you're currently at site, right? What you can do is that you can actually use your handphone, the Sun 2000 app. What you can do is that there are two methods of connecting. One is via the WLAN dongle over here. You can see the dongle over here, or you can use the USB cable. So at the bottom part of the inverter, there is a USB port. So what does the USB port give you is that you're able to plug your phone, plug the USB cable directly into the USB port of the inverter, and you're able to extract the inverter lock. Right. So just to remind you, you can see here, this is the dongle, and this is the USB cable. There are two types of method on whichever way you want to extract your inverter lock. So of course, when you're connected to the inverter, then you need to log in as an installer. Default password as 0000 5 times 0A, and then you click on maintenance, click on lock management, right? And then extract the download and extract the inverter lock over here. So once you have downloaded the inverter lock, it will be saved in your phone. Look for what's the default directory of downloads. Have the inverter lock, email it to us, WhatsApp to us, whichever method that you want. The most important part, you have to get the inverter lock first. Okay. Then, in order for you to perform all this maintenance, you need to ensure that you have the latest Sun 2000 and Fusion Solar app. I think this has already been covered by Fan earlier, but once again, just to show you, you're actually able to scan a QR code, or better yet, currently, I believe everybody's aware of the Google Play Store ban of Huawei, but no worries, because you're still able to directly download the APK from Huawei App Gallery Play Store. So if you use your phone, you go to the web browser, type in Huawei App Gallery, it will direct you into a different web page. Just type your Fusion Solar Sun 2000 and you're able to download the application. Okay. So, okay, then next we need to take certain physical pictures of the visible damage of the Sun 2000 inverters. Okay, so before that, I would like to clarify, because some of the customers' feedback is that they are not always available to go to site, to do maintenance checking, to take pictures, right? So let's say if you are unable to immediately go to the site to do maintenance checking, please extract the inverter lock and send it to us first. So while we are waiting for you to go to the site to do maintenance checking, we can actually process your ticket first with the inverter lock that you shared to us. So what happens now is that you are able to do simultaneously. So with the inverter lock being sent to us, we are sent to the CSE, customer service engineer, to do diagnostics to differentiate whether is it an inverter problem or is it an external factor. So most of the time, let's say if that's internal circuit problem, most of the time with the inverter lock, it'll be sufficient enough for us to grant you a warranty. But let's say if there are external factors like melting, conductor melting, then of course we need certain pictures at site for us to proceed with the warranty process further. But once again, let's say we want to make your after sales experience as seamless as possible, we can actually do it simultaneously. While we're waiting for you to furnish with more pictures, more information, we're actually able to proceed the inverter lock to create the ticket first. Okay, so the first picture, of course, take the picture of the serial number. Second picture, take the some pictures of the affected parts of the inverter. And then the third part, this one is referring to what I've mentioned earlier about LED blinking status. So what kind of color of the LED blinking status always represents something. So in order for us to differentiate what kind of fault is it, we must always refer back to the quick guide or the user manual. Okay. And then the fourth picture, you have to take a picture of the faulty inverter at the bottom part. Maybe you can take a better close-up on every single component. And then in order for it to diagnose whether is it an external factor or is it a inverter internal failure. So next, picture number 5 is, let's say the fault is related to AC side. Please do some certain measurements. When you're doing measurements, have someone on standby to take a picture while you're measuring using a multimeter or certain testers to ensure that we are able to see the picture clearly. Okay. So next, once you are done all this checking, you need to help us to fill up a warranty service request form. So divided to 4 parts. So this one, I believe, has been covered. The date, this one is pretty much very straightforward, but you need to help us to do certain checking. So the first one, of course, AC cable insulation checking, AC voltage check, DC cable insulation checking, and leakage check. So it's divided into AC and DC. So once you have all this information, then once you furnish it with us, then we believe that we're able to help you to get the warranty inverters. Okay, then once you have all this information, once you go through step 1 and step 4, then you have to consolidate all the information that you have and forward to the KVC or Huawei person in charge. So these are the names, the list of names, and also the emails that you need to email through. Or for those who actually know me or know my handphone number, you can actually WhatsApp to me. Then we actually can able to proceed the warranty process for you. So remember, once again, just to refresh your memory, the most crucial part is always about the inverter lock. So once you already have the inverter lock, by all means, please send it to us first, because sometimes, for example, for 100 KTL, there's an alarm ID called 2064. So what does this 2064 stands for? The description of alarm ID 2064 stands for internal circuit failure. So with that being said, there's not much description. With that being said, please send us the inverter lock. Most of the time when you see an alarm 2064, you'll be able to be granted a new inverter warranty, because that's an internal circuit failure. Maybe like your PCB has already spoiled, or your auxiliary power unit has been has a certain manufacturing defect. Then we are able to process and give you a new warranty immediately, without going through the hassle of step 3, step 4 of taking certain pictures. All right. So once again, once you have all this information, send it to us. So once we have what we will do as a KVC and Huawei service team, what we will do is that we'll gather all this information and we'll send to AP support. So if you yourself as a installer, as an O&M perspective, you're actually able to send to AP support by yourself. But because we are very familiar with the process and we want to do certain value-added propositions to you, we usually do it on behalf of our customers. But if you want to directly send it to AP support, by all means you can go ahead. But what we are here is we try to support you in every single sense that it's possible. That's why allow us to help you to grant for this warranty process. So once you email to AP support team, what does AP support is basically Asia Pacific support for Huawei inverters. Okay, once you send the email to this AP support email, right, then you'll be granted with this ticket. We call it SR, which stands for service request, or more layman term is known as a ticketing. So with this ticket, you're able to trace what is the current status of your warranty claim. Okay, and then next we look at spare part application one. So usually this part we will do it for you lah. So we from our KVC or Huawei's perspective, KVC and Huawei side, we will actually assist you to do this part, where we're actually able to fill up once it's been diagnosed that it's an inverter problem. Then we will do an application for spare part. So once again, just to remind you, for Huawei inverter, the spare part is the inverter alone. We do not do any circuit board exchanging. The spare part is the inverter alone. We always, whenever there's any warranty procedure, there's always one-to-one exchange. Okay, so looking at this one, delivery of replacement unit. So one thing I'd like to highlight over here, you can look at the date over here. So what happens here is that, you see from the email, it states that the email was sent on 27th of May, right? But then the inverter is shipped the next day, 28th of May. So once again, this is to show the commitment of Huawei towards the after sales, because you can see that the inverter was granted on 27th. But then the inverter has already been scheduled for delivery the next day itself. So this delivery, just to let you know that this delivery is directly to the site. Okay. Next, we look at faulty spare part. So once you have already delivered the inverter, then of course we need to help you to fill up a form for us to collect the inverter back, the faulty inverter back from your company. So this one, so to put into perspective, is that you do not actually need to collect the inverter from our warehouse. You do not actually need to send the inverter to the warehouse, because what we do is that we are able to do that for you. KVC and Huawei are able to optimize your logistics process, where we actually deliver it and we collect the faulty inverter directly from you. So what you need to do as an installer or as a O&M perspective, you need to just stand by your team to go there and replace the inverter, and that's about it. So next we talk about local availability. So you may be curious, why is Huawei able to commit to this 2 days replacement at site? It's because they actually have Warehouses in Malaysia dedicated just to store all these spare inverters. So you can see in different regions, different states, we have special dedicated warehouse just to store spare inverters, which explains why they're able to do 2 days replacement at site. And in Huawei and KVC, we always emphasize on localization, so that this to ensure that we are always on the same frequency, same page in order to deal with certain matters. Okay, next we look at the spare part process. So don't be confused by this flowchart. It may look complicated, but as I mentioned earlier, actually the process is not very complicated. It's pretty much very straightforward. Once again, the most crucial part is always the inverter lock. But what I'm trying to show you in this slide is to show you this part. Spare shipment within 2 business days after RMA has been confirmed. So what does RMA stands for? Return Merchandise Authorization. So once it's confirmed that's inverter problem, the inverter spare will always be shipped within 2 working days, direct delivery to your site. Okay, next we talk about the warranty period. So for bigger inverters, 36, 60, and 100, it's pretty much straightforward. It comes with a standard 5 years, and you're able to extend it up to 20 years. So I think this is pretty much common throughout the whole industry. So, but for Huawei, we have this flexibility. We are able to actually extend the warranty anytime within the first 5 years. So let's say if you're using your inverter for like 3 to 4 years, then you wish to extend your inverter, you're allowed to do so anytime within the first 5 years, anytime within the warranty period. And as long as within the warranty period, we always provide one-to-one exchange. Why? It's because we want to minimize downtime. So what we understand from an electronic components perspective is that whenever you open up a component, whenever you open up a circuit board, there's always a tendency of repeated failure. So in Huawei, we try to do prevention is better than cure. We truly believe in prevention is better than cure. So we always replace one-to-one exchange. We do not repair, and we do not just repair and replace. We replace with a completely new inverter. Okay, so for the next part, we talk about warranty period for the smaller inverters. So for this one, just to take note, 20 and below, 2 to 5 L1, 5 to 10 M1, and 12 to 20 M2. Any inverters lower than 20 KTL comes with a standard warranty of 10 years. So you do not need to additionally purchase the warranty from KVC and Huawei, because once you purchase the inverter, it comes with a standard 10 years warranty. So in terms of the terms and conditions of the warranty, it's pretty much straightforward, one-to-one exchange anytime within the warranty period. So I believe a lot of residential installers, they give this complimentary 5 years warranty to the end user. So with that being said, you need to purchase an additional 5 years warranty. But now in KVC and Huawei, we give you the privilege to actually enjoy a standard 10 years warranty. So you do not need to have additional charges for just to extend the 5 years warranty complimentary given to your customers. Okay, so far so good. If you have any questions, by all means, please type it in the chat box. I believe we have our experts online to be on standby to answer your questions. But let's say if your your questions are not answered, then we can bring it to the next Q&A session. Okay, so this pretty much sums up the part on the warranty procedure, warranty process. I believe it's pretty straightforward. Once again, just to emphasize, important things I need to say 3 times is to always extract the inverter locks. Any problem, extract the inverter lock first. Okay. Next, we look at Sun 2000 inverter and also Smart Logger 3000 commissioning guideline. So of course, we talk about the inverter first. So for inverter, using Smart Dongle is pretty much very straightforward. So this is actually a document, Fusion Solar App Quick Guide. So for those of you who do not have the latest edition of the Quick Guide, please drop me a WhatsApp, drop me an email. I'll share to you the latest Quick Guide for you to do the commissioning for a Smart Dongle scenario. So of course, the first step, always you need to ensure that you have the latest Fusion Solar app. So you can see, right, the background is blue color, where the older Fusion Solar management system is like a orange and green color. So this is an upgraded version. Of course, there will be certain amendments to the Quick Guide. Okay. So first thing, registered installer account. I think pretty much most of you already have this. But let's say you're a first-time user for Huawei, just register an installer account. So your next question might be, well, how do I create an account for my owners? How do I create an account for my customers? So once you have the installer account, once you already added the plan, you're actually able to create a specific owner account for your customers without creating a new account. You just create a new role, basically. Okay, once you have that, just create the installer account, and then click on Setup Wizard. Right. So once you click on Setup Wizard, it will prompt you to this page. So this page may look a bit familiar, right? So basically, this page is the Sun 2000 interface. But then the beauty of this, once again, the beauty of this is that you do not need to switch over the application, because once you click on Setup Wizard, this Fusion Solar Management System is already embedded with this Sun 2000 application within this application. So you do not need to switch over. Just click on Setup Wizard, then you'll be greeted with the QR code. Remember, always scan the QR code of the inverters, not the dongle. All right? Scan the QR code of the inverter connected to the smart dongle. So usually the QR code sticker is on the right-hand side of the inverter, bottom right-hand side. Scan the QR code, log in 5x0A, and then perform quick settings. So once you enter the interface, you'll be greeted with the quick settings. Always click on the quick settings first. So quick text, once you're in the quick settings, then you'll be greeted with you want to change what is the grid code. So usually in the residential scenario, if you are able to, what my advice to the customer is that usually if you're able to find Malaysia, please use Malaysia. But let's say if you're unable to find Malaysia in the grid code, use IEC 61727. All right. So moving to the next part, once you already insert the grid code, insert the local time, then you'll be greeted with this. So what this will do is that it will scan what are the components. Let's say if you have like a smart dongle, if you have a DTSU, you have the smart power sensor, or better yet, if you have optimizers or batteries, it will all be automatically searched within this searching scenario. So let's say if you install 50 optimizers on your rooftop, it will automatically search the 50 optimizers without you doing additional manual searching. Once again, this is the beauty of communication within embedded in this Fusion Solar Management System. Okay, once you're done, click on next. So you can see here there's battery, there's DTSU, there's certain optimizers. Click on next. Then next you'll be greeted with connection to management system. So by default, the domain name is always intl.fusionsolar.huawei.com, and the port is always 27250. And you have two choices whether you want to go with the direct LAN cable to the dongle, or you can actually use the dongle to find the router of the house. So two methods. One is either you want to connect to the internet router of the house, or second one, you can actually activate the FE, fast Ethernet communication, which utilizes your LAN cable to connect from the router directly into the smart dongle. Okay. So once you're done, click on next, and then basically you're pretty much then you're pretty much completed already for the smart dongle scenario. So the most important part, you look at this, everything's connected from inverter. From the inverter to the router is connected. From the router to the management system is connected. So make sure that both parts of this are green. Then you're pretty much good to go to actually add the plant into your Fusion Solar Management System. So once you're done with all the commissioning, the 5 steps, then you will be greeted with this page. So what you need to do, just click on the owner's details. What is the location? What is the string capacity? What is the grid connection time? Everything, just click on it, and you can straight away just add the plant into your Fusion Solar Management System. Very straightforward. We have a very simplified pictorial guide on how you can actually perform the smart dongle commissioning. Okay, next we talk about the Smart Logger 3008 commissioning guidelines. So this is pretty slightly more complicated, but I don't think it's as complicated. It won't be very, very complicated, but slightly more difficult as compared to the smart dongle commissioning. So if you're to purchase the smart dongle, purchase a smart logger, you look at the back part of the smart logger, right? So there are two things that you need to take note. One, which is the LAN port, one, which is the WAN port. So as mentioned in this part of the presentation over here, you can see that the LAN port is usually for you to connect the laptop using a LAN cable to the port of the smart logger for you to do commissioning. And then the WAN port is basically for you to connect the LAN cable to the smart logger to the router. So basically you can actually do it simultaneously instead of just plugging out the LAN cable in and out. You can, while you're doing the setting of the smart logger, you're also able to simultaneously connect to the router with the WAN port. Okay. So the step one, of course, in order for you to connect, in order for you to communicate from your laptop with the smart logger, you need to ensure that you are using the correct IP address. So oftentimes, I believe a lot of customers or installers, the first time when they're doing commissioning, they are usually pretty much confused of this. So remember, you always refer to which port are you connected to. If you are connected to the LAN port, change your IP address of your laptop to be in the same address as the smart logger. So the smart logger's default value is this one, on 192.168.8.810. And then what you need to do on your PC setting is that you have to set the first, second, and third number to be in the same communication ring as the smart logger default value. So the next page actually explains how you want to change your IP address. So what you need to do, first thing, go to IPv4, change your IP address in accordance with the address of the smart logger. So oftentimes, where a lot of customers, they just plug in the LAN cable in, and then they say, oh, I'm unable to connect to the Aspire web portal. That's because your IPv4 address is not connected. Basically, you're not in the same communication ring as the smart logger, which explains why you're unable to connect the smart logger for you to do commissioning. Okay, so basically, whenever you already perform this, right, and then you will be greeted once you will be able to connect to the Aspire web portal already, which looks like this. So once you already adjusted the IPv4, log into the smart logger with the Aspire web portal. So this Aspire is basically a web UI for you to do your smart logger commissioning. Okay, another thing that you need to highlight over here is that whenever you key in the IP address of the logger, always remember to put in HTTPS //. A lot of times, customers just put in the IP address of the logger, right? Then they're unable to go in. So by all means, please remember to put in HTTPS. Okay. And then log in as advanced user, and then the default password is change me. So my advice is that don't change the password, because of course when you log in, they'll prompt you to whether you want to change or not change the password. But my advice is to leave it as default. So whenever we trace back, because maybe a certain maintenance worker already forgot what's the password, so whenever we trace back, we always default referring back to the manual. So if can, don't change the password. Yeah, but if you change, by all means, please jot it down and remember it. If not, you have to reset the logger, then all the memories within the logger will be lost. Okay, so once you're in the Aspire portal, click on Deployment Wizard. So you can see, right, there are actually 7 different steps for you to complete your commissioning process. So the first thing when you enter, always click on Deployment Wizard. Just follow step by step. Basic parameters: which country are you in, what's the local time, what is the management system, what is the source of the management system. Just click on Malaysia. I believe country region, we have a Kuala Lumpur time range over here. Just click on Kuala Lumpur and click on next. So next we look at Huawei devices. So you can see here there are actually 3 methods of networking mode. So for rooftop, it's pretty much quite simplified, where you actually use RS485 lah. But let's say for solar farms, bigger solar farms, then usually if you use M-Bus, then you just click on the related communication mode that you're using. So once you click on RS485, your smart logger will go into auto searching. And then if your RS485 cable is connected properly, which means the positive is positive, negative is the negative, in and out is all connected properly, your smart logger will immediately find the inverter without any hassle. But let's say a lot of times, it's very, very common where installers or O&M workers, where actually they have a reverse polarity of the RS485, which means the out positive is not connected to the in positive of the next inverter. So most of the time it's already terbalik, which explains why you're unable to find the inverter. So once again, always check the polarity and also the continuity of your RS485 cables. So once you click on this, then you click on search, and then you'll be able to find an inverter. So this is for Huawei device. Next, we look at power meter. So basically now I would say, due to the depletion of NEM Nova, right, a lot of installers, a lot of EPCs, they actually look into self-consumption. So in order for self-consumption to happen, you need a digital power meter. So what does this digital power meter do is basically to control the export. They do export limitation to the grid. So in order for that to happen, you need to add the power meter into the smart logger. So on the right hand side, you can see, right, this is what is the compatible list of power meters to Smart Logger 3000. So I wish to clarify, the list that you see on the right hand side here, or the list that you see in the user manual of Smart Logger, is not just the power meters that's been able to communicate with the logger. What does this mean? It just simply means that all these models of DPM, all these models of digital power meter is already pre-configured within the it's already pre-configured within the Smart Loggers interface. So what it means that you just need to click, you just need to find a model, click on the model, and you do not need to do any form of manual inserting the Modbus register list. Okay, so for that I'll explain in the later part of my presentation. So before that, always ensure that the power meter, the power meters, the communication address is always same as what you're having it on your on your logger. So this is an example, right? For the Modbus is 9006, priority none, stop bit 1, start address 1. So if you look at the physical picture of the power meter, you can see here, always make sure that these numbers, the baud rate, the parity, the stop address is always same with your Smart Logger over here. A lot of times where customers are unable to find a power meter is because the RS-485, the Modbus register list is different as compared to what is having it on the power meter screen. So please always ensure that it's always in the same address. Same address. Okay, next we talk about the power meter Modbus register list. So if you can recall, why do I say that other brands of power meters are also able to connect to the Smart Logger? It's because, once again, just to emphasize that those DPM that you see in the manual and also in my slides earlier, it just simply means that it's already pre-configured. So let's say if you want to use a different brands of power meter, by all means go ahead, because you're actually able to manually insert the Modbus register list over here. So once you click on other, right, you see this part, click on other, then you pop up with this Modbus register list. So what you do, just plot in the register list, as you can refer back to the manual of the power meter. So you can see there are different kinds of parameters that you want to capture. Then always fill in the address. Always fill in the correct address in accordance to the Modbus register list of the power meter. So you can actually search the Modbus register list on the internet, and you can actually download it and cross-refer on how you want to fill up the register list within the Nspire web portal. So once you're done, you'll be greeted with this, which means you can see the values are all correct. Then, with this being said, from this value you can see, right, always compare it back with the power meter, because just to let you know that you can see this part, right, the gain. What does this gain basically means is the decimal point. So let's say if let's say if you want to times 10 or divided by 10 is referring to this gain. So you have to look back in your monitoring system whether does this number make sense or not, because it doesn't make sense for you to have line voltage of 2370 lah. So always you look at this, does this make sense? If it doesn't make sense, change the decimal point at the gain part. And then with this information, cross-check with the physical readings that you see on the power meter. Okay, so far so good. Okay, next I'll talk about the weather station. So in the Nspire web portal, you'll be greeted with this EMI. So what does EMI stands for? EMI stands for Environmental Monitoring Indicator, or in layman terms, we call it weather station. So of course, weather station, similarly like the DPM, there's a certain compatibility list in the user manual. But once again, just to remind you, is that the list that you see on the manual is not just limited to that list. But let's say if you want to use a different weather station, you can actually manually add the weather station inside the Nspire web portal, as you can see over here. Just manually add them. Okay. So always, once again, ensure that this is an example. This, if I'm not mistaken, is a PV, based on referring to PVMAT 75. Always remember to make sure the polarity of your RS-485 cable is correct. Positive to positive, negative to negative. If you have it you have it reversed, then you are unable to search your weather station. Always remember this. Okay. The next, this is a sample of EMI running information based. So once again, always look at the value. Does this value make sense? Does this value, does the irradiation amount, does the PV module temperature make sense or not? If not, then go back to the setup page and adjust the gain to adjust the decimal point of your reading. Okay. So this next, we're looking at the compatibilities in the user manual. So once again, just to let you know that this list doesn't mean that you're only able to allow to use weather stations within this list. You're actually able to use a lot kinds of different weather stations, but make sure that you are able to find the Modbus register list. Okay. So once you're done, then you go to the Huawei NMS, which stands for Network Management System, and then you need to put in the server IP address. So by default, as shared by Fan earlier and shared by myself also, it's always intl.fusionsolar.huawei.com. And then the port number is also default 27250. Okay. So next, okay, before I go to the next part, is always you have to take note of this NMS connection status. So what does this NMS connection status basically means? That whenever you see it's not connected, then you won't be able to add your plant in the Fusion Solar. Always make sure that you have connected. Then only, what does connected means is that connected means that your logger has internet access and is connected to the management system. So once you see connected, which means that you actually can able to add your plant inside the Fusion Solar management system, which I'm looking at my next slide. So once again, register installer account. So this has been covered earlier, so I'll not talk much on this. So always remember, I would say this is the hardest part of commissioning, which is to set the smart logger IP address. So a lot of times where you're using LAN cable to connect to the router, right? So this is not as straightforward as just plug as the dongle solution, where you're actually able to connect from the dongle directly to the router, because you need to do very minimal setting to change the smart logger IP address to be in the same communication address as the router. So what you need to do is that go to your command prompt, right? Type in this command. So what you will do is that this IP config, right, will actually show you. Before I go into the part, make sure your laptop is connected to the Wi-Fi of the building internet. Right, your current laptop is connected to the Wi-Fi of the building internet. Do IP config. So what this IP config is that it will show you what is the IP address of the router. So you can see here IP config of this building is that the IPv4 address is this one. Then of course from this number, plot it inside the IP address over here. Right, insert the IP address of the building router. Always refer back to what you have found in the IP config and plot it the same values in this setup. Okay, and then the primary and secondary DNS server, I usually what I will do is I put AA8 and AA44. This one is for the Google Chrome. So this one is not really much effect, but the one that affects the most is the IP address of the smart logger. So this is what determines whether you have internet connection to the building internet router. Okay, so once you're in the internet of the router, then you can actually add the plant into Fusion Solar. Go to your sg5.fusionsolar.huawei.com, click on add plant, key in the serial number of the logger, then so it's very, very simple. Let's say if you key in the serial number of the logger, if your logger is not connected to the internet, remember the NMS connection status, yeah? So let's say if your NMS connection status shows as disconnected, not connected, then you won't be able to add your serial number of the logger. So that just simply means that your logger is not connected to the internet. So let's say if you already put in the serial number of the logger, then you're able to proceed to the next step, which is to add the owner details. Then congratulations, you're already connected to the building router for the internet. Okay, so that pretty much sums up my part. Very brief introduction to the warranty claim process, and also the commissioning guidelines for Sun 2000 inverters, together with the Smart Logger 3000A. So now we go into our second quiz. So once again, prepare your handphone. Then we go into the second quiz. Let me just reshare my slides again. Right. Okay, once again, pull out your handphone, scan the QR code, and let's see. scan the QR code, join the quiz. It's for the second quiz of what I mentioned on the Sun 2000 and also the warranty claim procedure. Anybody in? Okay, I see 3 people. So I think we can pretty much slightly overrun. So I'll probably start at, let's say if you reach 30 or 40. So I have 28, so let's say if you can get 30. So I think 28, we're stuck at 28. Let's see if we can get 30. Any more? Any 2 more people? If not, we can actually proceed. So I'll start within the next 5 seconds. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what's the first question? What's the first thing to check when your inverter has prompted an alarm? Is it check alarm ID, instruct inverter log, from AC and DC cable checking, or none of the above? What's the first thing you need to do when your inverter has prompted an alarm? Let's see what's the correct. Most of you, I would say majority of you have selected the first answer. Let's see if that's the correct answer. Correct. The first thing you need to do, always check the alarm ID in your alarm management. So let's say if you're able to clear the alarm, if the inverter is already self-recovered, then you will not need to claim a new warranty. Okay. So let's see who are the top leaders. I see a familiar name: Li Chenbang, Jia Chen, Li Mei Ong, and Yong Kai Yin. Familiar name are Chenbang and Jia Chen from the first quiz. So let's see the second question. Smart Logger Web UI for commissioning is known as Inspire, Perspire, Inspire, or none of the above. What is the name of the web UI for commissioning for Smart Logger? Correct. As most of you has answered, 60% of you answered Inspire. Let's see if that's the correct answer. Correct. So once again, this Inspire is the web UI for smart loggers, the blue color background that you see that I presented earlier. The familiar name, I see Chenbang and Jashan again. So this is a new name, Edwin Chong and Firhan Bagus. So let's see if you're able to top the top 5 for the next 3 questions. Yeah. So the third question, what does EMI stands for? Is the weather station? What is EMI stands for? So let's see what is the correct answer. So some of you answered 11. Okay, that's not wrong. So for this context, what I shared earlier is actually environmental monitoring indicator, which stands for the weather station. So let's see who is the top leader. Edwin Cho. Oh, not sure. Edwin Cho has become number 1. Okay, that's cool. So let's see. Fourth question. What is the warranty replacement timeline after RMA has been raised? Once again, RMA stands for Return Merchandise Authorization. So what is the warranty replacement timeline? 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days? Let's see what's the correct answer. Yes, I still see some of you commented 36, 4, and 7. So let's see what's the correct answer. So the correct answer is 2 business days. Once again, within 2 working days, we will be able to deliver a replacement inverter directly to your site. So still the same profile I see. So let's see the final question. What is the standard warranty for inverters model L1, M1 and M2? 20 KTL below. What is the standard warranty for 20 KTL and below? 5 years, 10 years, and 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years? Yes, majority of you have answered, 75% of you answered 10 years. So let's see that's the correct answer. Correct. So for 20 and below, once again, just to let you know, with the recent update of the warranty statement, the 20 and below comes with 10 years standard warranty. So congratulations, Edwin. I think you won the first quiz also, right? So, okay, just once again, drop me an email. Screenshot this page, drop me an email on this. Then we'll send out the quiz webinar gifts for you. Okay, so yeah, that pretty much sums up our webinar today. Once again, I appreciate all of you. For those who has actually stayed from the start till the end, I appreciate all of you. I hope all of you stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.